Live from the tank here, the Sports and Recreation Center at the campus of the College of Staten Island. CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 17th annual CSI Tournament of Heroes. We are about 10 minutes away from our main event of the evening. It's the Bates College Bobcats coming in with a record of 2-7, taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins, a record of 4-6 and only their third home game of the season. Tufts University won the opening game, Mike, of this tournament a few moments ago over Gwynedd Mercy University, and now one of these two teams will set a date with them in the championship tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. The CSI Dolphins are hoping to continue their good play of late and punch their ticket to the championship.
Yeah, they are, Dave. You know, they're coming off of a big win on the road against Kane University. It's a game that the Dolphins trailed throughout most of the game, but were able to find a way to come back and squeak out a 1-point win that gives the Dolphins 2 wins in a row. They've won 3 out of the last 4, Dave. They're starting to warm up a little bit and, you know, looking to get their first win in the Tournament of Heroes in a couple of years, as they lost both games in 2017.
Yeah, and the Dolphins, like you said, didn't get off to a healthy start, but have since righted the ship, especially in conference play. They've been able to pick up a little bit of momentum. And, Mike, we know the usual suspects for the Dolphins. Christian Taylor is a junior. He's pretty much on pace for what he was able to do last year. Adiola Latunji. Senior Stephen Flagg was coming back. He's played in the last 2 games, has looked good, and he's a part of the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, and Dave, I think that's a big shot in the arm for the Dolphins. The Dolphins lack size to begin with, and, although Steven isn't the tallest player in the world, he does have a very strong inside game, and he plays with good size, and, that's something that should really help the Dolphins in the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that the Dolphins are really looking forward to, the second half of the season. Like you mentioned, they've been 17 days without a game, Mike, and really they look at this tournament as the beginning of the second half of the season. You take a look at the standings that are in the CUNY Conference right now. No one in the CUNY is playing each other until next week, Mike, but you see that there's a big logjam right there in the middle. John Jay, Lehman, Staten Island. You notice that there's only a trio of teams that are above 500 at this point in the season overall. Baruch, Brooklyn, and John Jay. CSI's one loss was to John Jay, earlier this season. But for the Dolphins, this tournament could really not only make them 500 if they're able to come out with a couple of wins, but really put them in good position in the CUNY Conference standings as well.
Yeah, Dave, these are the final 2 non-conference games for the Dolphins in this season, and the Dolphins are going to get started underway with conference play beginning Thursday, January 3rd, and it happens hot and heavy, Dave, because by Monday, January 7th, they will already played another 3 conference games. They have home game against York on January 3rd. Then they'll be back at home once again against Hunter this Saturday, and then they'll go on the road. I believe it's Brooklyn College is their next game. So, we get through New Year's, and all of a sudden, Dave, conference games, 3 games a week.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets really fast and furious from there. And for Bates College as well, Mike, they come into the game a record of 2-7. By all accounts, they're on a rough patch. They've lost 5 games for the first time in forever. It's been over a decade since that's happened. But they, too, still have to play the bulk of their conference schedule. And if there was ever a get-right tournament for this team, this is the get-right tournament for Bates College. They're really looking to go back home to Lewiston, Maine on a high note and get themselves ready for a big stretch coming up.
Yeah, and, Bates, of course, hasn't even begun their conference play yet. And, like most teams, you're really looking to gear yourself up for conference play and get yourself in the best position to play well. And although Bates has started out a little bit slowly, Dave, this year, like we mentioned, they still haven't even opened up their conference schedule yet. So the season really just beginning for Bates.
So, Mike, we have about 5 minutes until we have opening tip-off. We should mention to those folks at home who are joining us, you notice that tip-off is scheduled for about 7:50. At the conclusion of the 5 minutes, we're going to send it down to courtside where they're going to have a special presentation to honor our 3 lost former Dolphins, Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannafin. So we'll pick up audio from that as we get closer to tip-off, so stay with us. The tip-off itself will be closer to about 7:50. Mike, why don't we spend the last 5 minutes or so talking a little bit about what the Dolphins need to do tonight. I mean, we obviously have seen them win some games. We've seen them drop some games. We've seen them look very good offensively. We've seen them really struggle offensively. What's the keys to this team? What does this team have to do well in order to come out of here with a W?
Well, you look at this CSI Dolphin team, Dave, and, they've come in and they've played pretty well this year. They've had a very tough non-conference schedule to start the season. Tough games out on the road, games that they played very competitively with. And, yes, they have Adeola Latunji returning. And, yes, Christian Taylor is back. But, they came in with a lot of new players this year, a lot of freshman players, and a lot of players that were really looking to play Division III basketball for the first time. And, they really seemed to turn the corner. And, again, that big non-conference win against Kane really giving the Dolphins a good feel, a 2-game winning streak before going on that 11-day break that you mentioned. Team is practiced and ready to go, and should be interesting to see how they come out and play here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, a 17-day break, Mike. Their last game was on December 11th, so they've been idle for quite some time. And, Mike, I think one of the things that really has to take precedent, too, making his appearance in the starting lineup today, not the first time, but Shamal Martin, a freshman from Neudorf High School, has really played well. His numbers are not going to blow you off the page, but he's really played well. The Dolphins have such big plans for Shamal. If he could stay out of foul trouble, he could be a real dangerous person on the court.
Yeah, and from him, and as he starts to establish himself and really get used to the pace of play, head coach TJ Tibbs really looking for big things out of Shamal here in the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Dolphins are hoping to get their outside shooting uncorked a little bit. Austin Mick, of course, one of those, dangerous outside shooters. Rigo Destime as well. They haven't been able to really shoot well from the outside to start the 2018-19 campaign. And if you're TJ Tibbs, Mike, you're looking for strong play from your guards today. We know what Christian Taylor is going to do and what Adeola is going to do. What can your role players like Austin Mick and Rigo Destime do? And they're going to have a big microscope on them tonight.
Well, Rigo has really started to pick up his offensive play, of late. And, it's had a couple of very good games for the Dolphins. He's got his minutes up now to nearly 21 minutes a game. So, he's been getting a lot of run out on the floor, and the Dolphins are really counting on him. And, as far as Austin Mick goes, Austin coming in with a reputation as a very good shooter and really has been developing and, really, I think, getting a little bit used to the pace of Division III basketball.
While we have just a minute or so, let's take a look at CSI's opponents tonight. The Bates College Bobcats. We talked about their struggles so far this season with a record of 2-7, but they have one of the most dynamic guards in the nation, Mike, in I lost him, in Jeff Spellman, number 11. TJ Tibbs speaks very highly of Jeff. He's a very good ball handler, and he's only averaging 13.9 points per game, but they have a lot of high hopes for Jeff, and he's a tremendous all-around player.
Yeah, it's always interesting, Dave, to get a look at teams that we really never have an opportunity to see before. And, obviously we know a little bit about Bates only because Jason Fine, the former athletic director of the Dolphins, headed up to Bates College. But just earlier where we got to see Tufts and Gwen and Mercy play, an opportunity to see Bates for the first time as well.
All right, so Mike, what you and I are going to do is we're going to go off our headset for just a few moments, and then when we come back, we're going to yield to our public address announcer, Joe Foreman, a big voice here on CSI Sports, and he's got public address duties. The CSI Dolphins are going to honor three men by the name of Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannafin, three players that they lost on 9/11, and they're going to look to do an honor as we get ourselves ready here with our camera, where we will send it down courtside for a few remarks from the CSI staff.
Get ready for our 2001. Tonight, we honor Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannigan. Ladies and gentlemen, for almost 2 decades, we've been blessed to learn more about our three heroes and spend time with their friends and families here for our tournament. We learned the examples they set on the basketball court and the loving individuals they proved themselves to be off of it. Our three honorees tonight were not just CSI basketball players. They were three loving children, brothers, and fathers who served as tremendous role models in their communities. They were also loving friends who learned the values of sportsmanship, teamwork, and commitment to a greater purpose. Their common denominator was their love of the game of basketball, and they shared the experience of playing here at the College of Staten Island. Many who knew them knew how important their time in our institution was to them, and how they treasured the experience to devote their adult lives, and to the experience they had as valued members of the community and workplace, all leading to the tragedy on 9/11. Let us remember them now. Our friend, Terrence Andre Aiken, joined CSI basketball as a transfer for only a single season in 1994-95, which saw the Dolphins in an NCAA Division III national tournament while winning 20 games. His coaches recognized him as someone who carried a licensed position, but who also took basketball very seriously, often showing up to practice early while motivating his teammates. His mature approach was essential to the team. Off the court, Terry was a people person, and it was not uncommon for him to see young people he did not know, approach them, and strike up a conversation. As you may have read in tonight's program, former head coach Tony Tozer carried the Terrence team from one illustrious to silence your cell phones. Indeed, Terry was one of the first to carry a cell phone back then, and it would constantly be attached to his ear. That also spoke to his passion for technology. Alongside the latest gadgets, Terrence enjoyed taking apart and putting computers back together again, and he was ecstatic when he landed a job with vital computer technologies at the World Trade Center. 9/11 was Terrence's 6th day on the job, and in typical fashion, he got there early. At just 30 years of age, Terrence left behind a wife and 3 beautiful children. But more than anything, he left behind a persona that continues to leave everyone in awe, even today. Born on Christmas Day, Terrence and his family always got together for the holidays. Tonight, we get together to honor him. Ladies and gentlemen, our hero, Terrence Aiken. Our next honoree is Scott Davidson, played for the Dolphins his entire 4-year career, from 1986 to 1989, starring on a pair of huge championship teams. On the court, Scott was a rare team player whose selfless role was to make others better. He could sometimes play a full 40 minutes and never take a shot. His teammates recall with no hesitation his ability to carry those teams, doing the dirty work, like sacrificing his body through his balls, taking collisions on picks, taking charges in the lane, and asking to guard the other team's best scorer with the game on the line. He even had a few choice words to the officials sometimes, but it was all offered in an attempt to lift his team and motivate them for the next play. And this intense on-the-court energy was caused by people who only knew Scott the way of basketball. Ask anyone who knew him, and they'll all tell you that when it came to Scott's heart, he was as playful as a kid at Christmas, and Scott insisted on spreading the holiday cheer to his friends and family. He would bring Christmas lights to his car, and he hot wired to his car battery, and moving the guy into trouble with the police on a couple of occasions. However, he would make them laugh and shoved the fire extinguisher he had on the passenger seat, just in case. It's no small wonder that Scott's fiery personality and his love and care for others culminated with his entry into the New York City Fire Department, and later into the World Trade Center on September 11th. Just like in basketball, even in the very worst of situations, Scott was doing what he's always done, put himself out there head first, ready to take on whatever came at him. At the age of just 33, Scott left behind a loving family that included his wife Amy and 2 children. Often seen in CSI events and tournaments years after graduation, Scott was often a fixture in this building long after his playing days ended. Tonight is our chance to celebrate his energy, spirit, and unwavering heroism on September 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, our hero, Scott Davidson. Our final honoree tonight, Tom Hannigan, was a 4-year standout with the Dolphins from 1983 through 1987. He won 3 championships during his time here, and of the more dynamic two-way players in CSI basketball history, catching a place in the record books in categories like assists and steals. His one-loss record over 4 years at the college can hardly be duplicated. His teammates and coaches will tell you that so long as Tom was on the court, CSI was in the game, feared no one, and was ready to do whatever it took to win. In other words, he was the total package and a bunch of glue that held everything together. But for all the winning CSI did, and all the records Tom was a part of, it's now what people remember most about him. For Tom, the basketball court represented more than just a showcase of skill. It was a chance to throw away from the court, a chance to make teammates brothers, and turn friends to loved ones, forever linked in history. Tom loved getting the gang together away from basketball. He organized events for his teammates even well after his playing days were over, keeping them together. Tom was the guy known to take photo albums with him when visiting friends to relive the great memories of his playing days. A reminder of who he was on the court, distributing the ball and making others around him better. In short, Tom brought the family atmosphere back to the team. Mention Tom to his friends, even the ones he played with, and many of them won't bring up basketball at all. Although he chose to play and love the game his entire life, even when he entered the FDNY. Instead, they talked of Tom simply being there in their lives when it mattered most, just a phone call away, to laugh, or cry, or just enjoy each other's company. So it makes sense that Tom joined the fire department, where brotherhood and selfless pension for coming to the aid of another are standard fare. That desire translated at the World Trade Center. His unit was based in Greenwich Village, and was one hit hardest by the attacks, as many in his house perished at the site that day. At the age of 36, leaving behind 2 beautiful kids, Tom made the ultimate sacrifice a family member would make for another. And it is our honor to be here for him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, our hero, Tom Hannigan.
All right, Mike, so we will take over here on headset here as we get set to introduce our starting lineups tonight, Mike. But before we even get to starters, a pretty, pretty poignant dedication to 3 young men who really have become part of our extended family.
Yeah, Dave, it really is. And, this is a tournament that, we've been broadcasting for years, and this is the 17th annual tournament. And, it's always the same. It's always a very emotional moment and, a very challenging time to remember. And, now we get on to the exciting and the basketball part of it, but you can never really forget the purpose of it in the first place.
And you see the visitors for tonight, the Bobcats of Bates College. Mike, let's take a look at their starters.
Yeah, for Bates, it'll be number 0, Cody Greenhard, number 11, Jeff Spellman, number 15, Nick Lynch, number 23, Nick Gilpin, and number 33, Andrew Stani. For the College of Staten Island, who's come in and they've won their last 2 consecutive games, it'll be Stephen Flagg returning and back in the starting lineup. His third game back with the team. Number 2, Adiolo Latunji. Number 3, Rigo DeSteam. Number 22, Shamal Martin. And number 23, Christian Taylor. So Martin and DeSteam and Stephen Flagg all working themselves into the starting lineup as head coach T.J. Tibbs continuing to evolve and experiment with his team here, Dave, in 2018.
Yeah, and Shamal Martin gets the start for the Dolphins in place of number 42, James Delahanty. But Delahanty will be available tonight, Mike. We've been told he did miss a couple of games there due to injury, but he is back. He is dressed. He should play, but Shamal Martin gets the start there. The Dolphins will be without Chris Velasquez tonight, as we learned that he will not dress for this evening's contest. So other than that, everybody's pretty fully healthy here. The Dolphins are 17 days removed from play. Last time they took the court, they were victorious against Kane University, as Mike mentioned, on a last-second field goal by Adiola Latunji with 5 seconds left in that game, gave the Dolphins a 66-65 win. It was their 4th win in the last 6 games. It was their 2nd of their last 3. And the Dolphins are coming in with a little bit of a head of steam. And meanwhile, Bates College, they've lost 5 games in a row, part of 6 straight road games. But they're on their longest losing streak, Mike, since 2002, 2003. So going back 15 years plus since Bates has dropped 5 games in a row. Their longest losing streak was 7 games back in 02-03. But again, if there's a get-right game for Bates, they're hoping this one's it. They're removed from play for a few days. They're in a place, Staten Island, where CSI's yet to win a home game, Mike. They're 0-2. Haven't had a lot of opportunities here at the Sports and Rec Center, but exciting tournament. Game 2 ready to tip off, winner to face Tufts. We are underway here. Dolphins will have the first possession. Christian Taylor giving off to Stephen Flagg, his first touch. Flagg working against Snoddy. Handoff over to Latunji from Martin. The give inside off of a Bates player. Now under 10 on the shot clock. Flagg looking for space. Finds Taylor. Taylor driving inside. Dump off to Martin. Wide open layup is good from the right side with 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah, that was a nice pass by Taylor to Martin. Good defense on the opening possession by Bates, but the Dolphins able to convert the basket.
And so now Bates works it around. The give inside. Left-handed jumper that time. No good by Lynch. And here comes CSI the other way. Taylor inside. He gets jammed going up, and a lot of contact from Nick Lynch underneath. That was in the hemisphere as well. No call on the play. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. So we are inside of our first minute of play. Dolphins working it around again. This is Flagg, left open for 3. It's good.
Boy, if Flagg can hit that outside jumper, that's a real plus for the Dolphins. He's now 4 of 9 from the three-point line since rejoining the team.
Flagg's third game back with the Dolphins. Here's a jumper from the left side. No good by Gilpin. And CSI has it again. They're 2 for 2 from the field. This is Flagg. Opposite baseline. Driving. Stops his dribble. Gives off to Martin. Rigo DeSteam driving on the inside. Up against, and he was blocked by Snoddy. And here comes Bates the other way. Getting in front of it was DeSteam. He got the takeaway. DeSteam inside give to Flagg. Flagg drives the paint off the glass and in.
Yeah, big start for Stephen Flagg. Big start for the Dolphins as they score the first 7 of the game.
7-0 run for the Dolphins to start a 30-second timeout. And, Mike, the Dolphins have started fast.
Yeah, they really have, Dave, as Stephen Flagg has scored 5 of the first 7 Dolphin points. Shamal Martin with the other basket to get the Dolphins off to a good start here, and they lead by a score of 7-0. And, Dave, while we have a minute here, somebody not in the building today, but, you know, I'm sure is watching the game out in California is head men's basketball coach Tony Petosa. And, you know, of course, Tony, one of the driving forces, the driving force behind the growth of this tournament. And, you know, a head coach that the College of Staten Island could never forget, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a chance to speak to Tony a little bit before the break via text message, and he's excited about the CSI Men's Basketball Alumni Day that he'll be back in town for. I'm sure he's finding a place to watch this one here as Jam going on the inside was Nick Gilpin. A great give that time by Lynch. And Bates is on the board here, down by 5.
Yeah, beautiful offensive play that time by the Bobcats.
Driving inside his flag off the glass, a little too strong. Errant rebound ends up into the hands of Gilpin. And here comes Bates looking to run. Cross-court pass to Greenolch. Back up top to Gilpin, who's been very involved here in the early stages. Snoddy up top gives off to Greenolch. The give up top to Spellman. Spellman, not a lot of touches so far. They work it around. Lynch from just inside three-point range, no good. And Latunji gets the rebound. Here comes CSI now the other way. Christian Taylor barking out signals. Sends Rigo Destime on the way. Shamal Martin fronting up on Lynch. Driving inside. He loses control. And here comes Bates the other way. This is Spellman. Spellman, crossover dribble, gets all the way in and off the glass and in.
Yeah, that time the defense kind of parted right in the center of the floor, and head coach TJ Tibbs not happy because that time the Bobcats easily able to get the ball right to the basket, Dave.
Yeah, and Bates' coaching staff wanted a whistle as well, as you get another look at the great play by Spellman coast to coast that time, as Dolphins here have seen their 7-0 quick lead get cut down to 7-4 here. As you can see, TJ Tibbs talking to his troops. It was a 30-second timeout. Everyone standing in the huddle.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, we mentioned before the final 2 non-conference games for the Dolphins before they get underway, looking to defend their CUNYAC championship from last year. And, you know, of course, all the CUNYAC teams fighting for that coveted position in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a logjam in the standings because a lot of evenly matched teams in the CUNY Conference. The top 6 make the playoffs, but we're a long way away from that. We'll talk about that a little bit more as the evening continues. Meanwhile, this is Christian Taylor. His first attempt, actually his second, and he was bumped into the lane here. Christian Taylor making so many dynamic things happen when he goes to the hoop, as Nick Lynch gets called for the foul. Yeah, Taylor easily goes to the line more than any other Dolphin, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, Dave, as he leads the team in scoring with over 22 points a game, shooting 66% from the free throw line, and he hits the first.
And he breaks up that mini 4-0 run for Bates as well. Taylor, 41 of 62 from the line, make that 41 of 63 so far this season. Dolphins up by 4. They've doubled up on Bates 8-4. Spellman controls against Andrew Cartalis, who checked into the game for Rigo Destime. Bates with quick passing here. This is Lynch looking inside, interrupted at first, manages to get it back. Brandon Galloway had entered the game for the Bobcats, and we're going to have a moving screen violation on Lynch. That's his second personal foul for the Bobcats. And we're going to have number 12, Kenny Aruajoye, coming into the game. He will replace Lynch, who's picked up 2 fouls here in the first 3.5 minutes of play.
Yeah, that's tough, Dave. You're not even warmed up yet out on the floor, and you already find yourself on the bench with 2 quick personals.
Latunji yet to take a shot, does. Too strong. Aruajoye with the rebound for Bates. He gives over to Spellman. Aruajoye looking to get position inside. Does. Interrupted by Cartalis. He cannot keep it, though, from going out of bounds. So with 21 seconds left on the shot clock, Bates will have possession.
Nice defensive play that time by Andrew. Just couldn't keep the ball in bounds, so the Bobcats inbound.
Left open in three-point range was Galloway. He gives it up instead. And another moving screen violation called against Bates. It'll be on number 4, Brandon Galloway, who had recently checked in.
Boy, Dave, that's 2 quick turnovers with offensive fouls on the offensive end, as that time it's Galloway picking up his first personal.
Galloway, who had checked in right before Lynch went to the bench. Christian Taylor here controls for the Dolphins. He's going up against Greenolch. Taylor gains inside. We're going to have a foul whistled on the baseline. Looks like it'll be on Aruajoye. And he gets called for a hold. That's his first. He replaced Lynch, who went to the bench with 2 fouls.
And I hope Christian had a relaxing 17 days off, because he's already been clubbed in the head twice, Dave, and didn't get a foul call on either one of them.
Yeah, Taylor's mid-range game is very strong, but when he's not burying them from 15 feet out. He's driving to the paint on nearly every occasion, and that causes fits, especially for perimeter players who are not used to kind of backpedaling in the paint as often as they do, or as often as Taylor makes them. Give up top to Latunji. Latunji spins inside, dishes out to Flagg. Flagg for three. That one goes in and out. Martin gets the offensive rebound, struggling to gain the paint. Does. Another offensive rebound. That's Latunji up off the glass and in.
Yeah, and, you know, the Dolphins don't have a lot of size, but they're bigger than that Bates team that's out on the floor right now, and they've been able to take advantage and grab a couple of offensive rebounds, and now the Dolphins will get called for a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, Shamal Martin tried to shrug the Ruajoye out of the way. Checking in is Eli Frater for Bates. He will replace Greenolch. This is Spellman now. Short range jumper, no good. Long rebound and skids over to Martin. He's able to drop off to Taylor. Taylor to Flagg. Flagg looking to drive. Now pulls up just inside three-point range. No good. Long rebound. And it's won by Galloway. Bates at three-quarter speed, going through, gaining the paint. Now looking inside is a Ruajoye. Ruajoye cross court, but well over the head of Frater, and that's another turnover for Bates College.
Yeah, Bates has been turning the ball over a lot here in the first half, Dave, and you know it's tough to win on the road as it is, but 3 quick turnovers here for Bates in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, part of 4 overall so far for Bates. Couple that with an offensive foul that they had. Dolphins with 1 turnover here. There's the stats on your screen, courtesy of Nicholas Durst, our engineer tonight, making his CSI debut in that capacity. Thank Nick for everything tonight and tomorrow. Cartalis give inside to Martin. Martin fronting on a Ruajoye. Spin around, no good. He got his pocket picked by Galloway, but Galloway's going to be called for the foul. Now that's his second.
Yeah, so a couple of Bobcat plays with 2 personal fouls here early in the first half, Dave. 5 fouls on Bates here, Dave, in just over 5 minutes of play.
And that will bring Snoddy back into the game. Andrew Snoddy, the 6'6" freshman, come in replacing Galloway due to foul trouble. This is Latunji for mid-range jumper. That's good. And the Dolphins are on a 5-0 run, as getting in the way of that pass was Cartalis. It'll remain Bates basketball.
So Adiola, second on the team in scoring, averaging just under 19 points a game, gets his second basket of the evening.
Coming up at halftime, we'll be joined by Jason Fine, athletic director at Bates University. Has a lot of experience here at CSI, part of the crew that got this tournament started. Inside, Frater, no good off the glass, was expecting contact, didn't get it. And here comes Flagg the other way. Hand off to Latunji, being fronted by Snoddy. The give to Taylor. Taylor to Cartalis. Cartalis for 3, it's good.
Andrew Cartalis with a big 3-pointer, Dave, and the Dolphins have opened this one up early as they take an 11-point lead.
So an 8-0 run for the Dolphins makes it 15-4. Mike, why don't we step aside, take a break here during this full timeout, and with 14:05 remaining, it's the Dolphins 15 and Bates 4. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Men's Basketball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Morning, Gary.
Welcome back here to the CSI tank, where you got a chance there to see Andrew Cartalis bury a 3 that induced a timeout by Bates. Mike, Dolphins opened up on a 7-0 run. They gave up 4 straight. Now they're on an 8-0 run.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, the Dolphins know they can count on Taylor and Latunji and even Stephen Flagg for their scoring. But if they can start to get points from some of their secondary players like Andrew Cartalis, who's really looked better and better as the season has gone along, that really could mean good things for the Dolphins in the second half of the season.
Absolutely. The Dolphins, who have been guilty sometimes of not getting off to good starts, have definitely gotten off to a good one here. Dolphins are shooting 46% here in the early going. They've taken 6 more shots than have Bates. Bates is just 2 of 7 from the floor, near 30% in a small body of work. This is Jeff Spellman. Spellman curtails to his right, pulls up for 3. It's good.
That's a big three-point answer that time by Spellman, who gives Bates a desperately needed basket.
That cuts it down to single digits here as CSI's lead up now just cuts to 8, and a great takeaway by Frater. Frater, bounce pass inside to Spellman. He got interfered with by Snoddy on his own team. Here comes CSI the other way. Up top, no good for Latunji as he hit the bottom of the iron. Arua Joye's pass was broken up by Latunji. CSI will get James Delahanty in the game, replacing Shamal Martin.
And, you know, Dave, the Bobcats have done a pretty good job defensively on the inside. The Dolphins do have some size, but they've been able to deny the Dolphins on the inside on a couple of occasions here already in the first half.
This is Spellman now to his left. Arua Joye bounces one up. Snoddy thought about a 3, penetrates inside, got interfered with, manages to get it back. Arua Joye turns around in the paint, no good off the back iron, and Stephen Flagg gets the rebound. Flagg's going to take it up the court himself. Cartalis for 3, no good, back iron, and it's corralled nicely by Tom Coyne, who is checked in for Bates. Coyne fakes right, goes left, drops off to Arua Joye. This is Spellman. Spellman sheds 1, sheds 2, puts up a short jumper, no good. Flagg with the rebound.
And another defensive rebound for Flagg on the play.
Dolphins lead holds at 8. This is Flagg. Gives up top to Taylor. Taylor from 3-point range, air ball, no good. And CSI contending it was touched, and it was. That was a blocked shot.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mike.
The officials agree with Taylor, so it'll remain Dolphin basketball. Believe they have to do something with the shot clock, though, Dave. So I didn't think that ball hit the rim.
Yeah, and in fairness to the clock operators, at first it was whistled Bates ball, so that's why they reset it. There'll be 17 on the shot clock. Nick Taylor has come into the game for the Dolphins, and Rigo Destime re-entered. Cartalis over to Nicholas Taylor. Up top to Rigo Destime. Destime penetrates inside. Floating layup is good over the outstretched Sonny Piplani. Piplani has checked in for Bates. Dolphins up by double digits again for the second time tonight. Coyne enters into the lane. Nice job as Coyne was able to split Taylor and Cartalis for the layup. As you get another look at that beautiful layup by Destime. This is the give over to Nicholas Taylor. Baseline jumper, mid-range, it's good. And the Dolphins back up by 10.
Nice jumper that time by Nicholas.
This is Coyne, double team. Gives over to Piplani. Piplani for 3, no good. Over the rim into the waiting arms of Cartalis. Cartalis jumps it inside to Christian Taylor. His layup is good.
So first Nicholas, then Christian to give the Dolphins a 12-point lead.
Dolphins working very quickly and are now 45% from the floor. Tom Coyne up top. Frater, Piplani. Piplani, long-range jumper, no good. Frater gets the rebound over Nick Taylor. Nice job by Eli Frater. Bobcats working around. This is Coyne losing control at first. Now on the floor. And we're going to have a timeout called by Bates as Sonny Piplani was able to get to that one. But Bates forced to call a timeout. And I believe that will put them down to 3 timeouts in total, Mike. Not quite sure. They've taken a 30, a full, and now a 30. So we'll keep it right here. Dolphins up by 12. And they're moving quickly up and down the floor, Mike.
Yeah, you know, Dave, Dolphins are doing a real good job there, controlling the glass, out-rebounding Bates 13-8, including 4-1 on the offensive end. So Dolphins coming out, playing well, getting some good balanced scoring here early in the game, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the rebounds, too. The Dolphins are +5 in that department. That's been a struggle for them at times this season, but they're holding a lead in a lot of offensive categories. That's another. And it's reflected on the scoreboard here, 21-9. Dolphins with their first contest since December 11th when they beat Kane University on the road 66-65.
Yeah, we look at the turnovers, Dave. Bates turning the ball over 4 times already compared to just 2 for the Dolphins.
Max Hummel has come in for Bates as Christian Taylor's going to get called for a foul as he interfered with Tom Coyne, the junior guard from Falmouth, Maine. Coyne will be the one doing the inbounding. Gives up top to Piplani. Coyne will work the controls here against Christian Taylor. Gives over to Eli Frater. Frater working against Nick Taylor. Has to retreat out. There's 5 on the shot clock. Frater continuing looking for space. Working around. This is Coyne. Has to heave up a 3. No good. Offensive rebound partly. And someone's going to get called for a foul. And that's a hard luck foul for James Delahanty, who kind of put his arms up in the air and said, look what I found here, a rebound. Got called for a foul for his trouble.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty clean grab of the basketball from here, but the official didn't agree, so Delahanty picks up his first.
Spot jumper, no good by Gilpin. And back come the Dolphins, once again looking to run. Desteem, nice fake. Gets inside, spin move, no good. Rebound, Piplani. Everything but finished that time for Desteem. Gilpin works it over to Frater. To Piplani, he misses the 3 short. 50-50 ball, and it's going to be a foul called on Tom Coyne. On Christian Taylor, went down hard. He gets back up, no trouble. Looks like for Coyne, that might be his, I think that was his first. I don't know if there was a call on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was a foul on that, Dave. I think they just ruled it Dolphin basketball. I'm not sure. As Bates now shooting just 24% from the field, 4 of 17 here in the first half.
This is Nick Taylor now, baseline 3, no good, long rebound. It's won by Gilpin. Gilpin now wants to slow things down, and now we're going to have a foul whistled against Cartalis. Basket will not count.
Yeah,
actually it's going to be on offensive.
That's the 3rd time, Dave, here in 10 minutes that Bates has got called for those moving screens, and that's hurt them here, Dave, as they continue to turn the ball over, and the Dolphins will have an opportunity up 12.
And it will be Piplani picking up the foul. That's his first. As we are under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Halfway through our initial stanza. This is Desteem backpedaling against Spellman. Drops off to Flagg. Flagg looked for the handoff, now opts over to Taylor. Taylor was looking to drive baseline. He got stonewalled by Gilpin. Delahanty up top to Latunji. Latunji, mid-range jumper, that's good.
Boy, and when Adiola's hitting that mid-range jumper, Dave, he's so dangerous because he'll bring that defense out and then drive right past.
Absolutely, and Latunji, that was more like a long range. That was just a step or two inside of 3-point range. That's really where his comfort zone is, as Spellman now with 15 on the clock. Sees his team down by 14. Bates needs some baskets. This is Lynch, who had worked his way back in the game. Offensive rebound, nice job that time by Max Hummel, one of only a couple of seniors on this team, along with Eli Frater. Speaking of Frater, he's guarding CSI's number 1, Stephen Flagg, but he's going to get called for a foul.
And Frater really didn't like that call, as that's going to send Stephen Flagg to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1. Stephen just with 2 free throw attempts on the season so far. He's hit them both, as you see the Dolphins going to the line. Bates yet to go to the line here tonight.
Flagg, one of CSI's steadier free throw shooters during his career, hovering in the mid-60s. Misses that one, though. That's the front end of a 1-and-1. You hope those don't come back to burn you a little bit later in the game. Handling now is Malik Velmar for Bates. Bates getting plenty of players into the game here. Lynch over to Hummel. Hummel for 3. No good. Long rebound won by Latunji. Cross-court pass to Flagg. Flagg was left open with some space. Nick Taylor. Taylor now fakes left, goes right. Sees Flagg in the corner. Flagg for 3. No good. Long rebound won by Lynch up in the air. CSI's been rather stagnant here these last few minutes. This is Spellman. Spellman being given the left side. And Rigo Desteem enters early, or late, depending how you look at it. He'll get called for the foul.
Yeah, Rigo kind of lost his balance, Dave, and fell over onto the Bobcat player as he picks up his first. That'll be the 4th team foul for the Dolphins, so the Bobcats will inbound from the near sideline.
First personal on Destine. Look at the fouls in total on your screen there. Spellman with a short jumper, no good. One by flag. Dolphins continue to do an excellent job on the rebounds, but a double dribble called against Stephen Flagg. So there's a turnover for the Dolphins as Christian Taylor and Andrew Cartalis will work their way back in.
Yeah, Dolphins getting a little stagnant offensively, Dave. Really need to try to get the ball inside and take advantage of a little bit of size. And Christian back on the floor, of course, will give them additional offensive capabilities.
Yeah, so the Dolphins' biggest lead was 14. Bates was able to cut it to 12 moments ago, looking to cut deeper into the lead. Lynch thought about an inside give. Hands off to Spellman instead. Back over to Lynch. Nice job by Lynch, who fronts up on Martin. He does not get the layup to go, but he will get fouled and will step to the line.
Yeah, and more importantly, Dave, that's going to be the second personal on Shamal as the Dolphins now have 5 team fouls, and that's going to send Nick Lynch to the free throw line to shoot 2.
69% free throw shooter, limited attempts. Gets the first one to go. And what was once a 14-point lead is now 11, as Shamal Martin will go to the bench. James Delahanty coming back in for CSI. Both free throws good, and the lead now exactly 10 here for the Dolphins. 23-13, under 8 minutes to go. Stephen Flagg working up top. Crossover dribble. Finds a lane, but it scoots away from him and into the waiting arms of Spellman. Spellman now over to Hummel. In the corner, looking for Gilpin. No good. Bates continues to struggle from long range here in this one.
Yeah, that one went halfway down and out, and Dolphins are looking for a good offensive possession. They haven't had one in their last 3 or 4.
Bates now 1 for 7 from three-point range. This is Flagg for 3, and that one's good.
Flagg now 2 of 4 from the three-point line. He has 8.
Dolphins 3 of 7 from three-point range. 3 of 8, I should say. They have now doubled up, and getting into the way of that one was Christian Taylor. Behind the back move, can't get the layup to fall, and we're going to have a jump ball as locking up with Velmar was Cartalis, and possession will go over to Bates.
Yeah, and that was one for the end of the year video, Dave, but Christian unfortunately just couldn't complete the play, and now it'll be Bobcat basketball.
Yeah, so that time the Bobcats guilty of the turnover again, Mike, but the Dolphins unable to make it hurt. Turnover is now 6-4. Bates has committed the 6, so Dolphins a +2 in that area. You see it on the screen flashing up. Spellman being given the left, not being given the right on Cartalis. Dolphins bench appreciates it. Spellman has to give it up to Lynch. 10 on the shot clock. Back over to Lynch. Lynch up top of Delahanty, no good. And Christian Taylor gets the rebound. CSI bench applauding the effort. Taylor working against Velmar. Giving over to Latunji. Latunji gains the paint. Drops over to Flagg. Flagg against Gilpin. This is Cartalis. Works inside. Rejected that time by Lynch. And here comes Bates the other way. Velmar all the way in for the layup. It's good. And the give by Gilpin. Nice job by Gilpin to get a hold of Lynch's blocked shot. Bates hanging around here, down by 11. CSI in control from the opening minutes where they came out to a 7-0 run. This is Flagg again from the corner, three-point range, no good. He's 2 for 5 from downtown. This is Spellman, bounce pass to Hummel. Back up top to Gilpin. Back over to Hummel. Hummel for 3, no good. And here comes Christian Taylor. 2 on 3 the other way. Taylor makes his own space, off the glass and in.
Big move there by Taylor to open the Dolphin lead back up to 17. Bobcats just 1 of 7, Dave, so far from the three-point line.
Not many ways to defend that one. if you're Bates. This is Spellman. He was able to get the right side that time. Drops over to Lynch. No good. Bates continuing to struggle from the floor. This is Christian Taylor. Barking out signals. Gets a pick from Delahanty. Long range 2 is good. Another timeout called by Bates. It's the 4th one they've used. And CSI's up by its biggest margin, 30-15.
And, you know, Dave, Christian started out a little slow. All of a sudden, he has 7 points.
So with a full timeout, we will step aside. It's the College of Staten Island 30, Bates College 15. Stay with us. You're watching CSI Men's Basketball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was six, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
We are back here with CSI in control over Bates, 30-15. CSI now with runs repeatedly in this game. We've been able to really pull away, and Bates is down to just 2 timeouts left in the game, Mike.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, Bates really struggling from the field, just 6 of 26%, barely over 23%. They're just 1 of 7 from the three-point line, and you know, you look at their point scoring, 10 of their 15 points in the paint, and 2 of their other points from the free throw line. If you're Bates, you got to start looking to try to get the ball inside a little bit, at least till your shooting starts to heat up.
Yeah, so with 4:48 to go in this first half, Lynch inside. Nice give from Gilpin, and Bates cuts the lead to 13. Lost a little bit of our clock, Mike, but there are 4 minutes and 34 seconds left.
Nice play by the Bobcats off the timeout on that possession.
Taylor bounce pass over to Desteem. Desteem, inside give to Latunji. Wanted to throw it down, but he got fouled on the way up. Nice look by Desteem.
Another aggressive play that time by Adiola. He couldn't complete the dunk, but he will go to the free throw line. So a couple of exciting plays here by the Dolphins in the first half. First that behind the back move by Taylor, and now Latunji trying to jam it home and drawing the foul and hitting the first.
Dolphins 2 of 4 from the line tonight with that made free throw right there from Latunji. Ruwajoya has returned for Bates. He replaces Lynch. Latunji's second free throw is good. Dolphins back up by their biggest lead, 15. 4:20 to go here in the first half. Good defensive play by Cartalis.
Yeah, Cartalis has really shown himself to be a very effective defensive player for the Dolphins. He's struggled a little bit from the field, but has been getting better offensively as the season has gone on.
Now a long range 2 for Gilpin, no good, off the fingertips of Delahanty. So Bates will get themselves a fresh 30 here with 4:10 remaining in the first half.
And the Dolphins looking to grab that defensive rebound, unable to do so. So a second chance here for the Bobcats.
Eli Frater now controls. He's driving right side, puts one underneath, gets his own rebound. The putback is no good, but he was fouled. That might be against Delahanty again.
Yeah, good aggressive play that time by Frater to take that ball to the basket. Frater, the 6-foot senior guard from Brooklyn, will go to the free throw line now.
Frater has struggled from the line this season, just over 50%, 52%. The first of 2 is good. Cuts the lead to 14 with 4:03 to go in this first half. Second free throw up and good. So Frater with the second chance free throws cuts the CSI lead down to 13. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Inside give to Taylor from Delahanty, skips off of his hands. This is Gilpin, touchdown pass over to Snoddy, and he makes the count via the fast break.
Nice play by Snoddy. He got ahead of the Dolphin defense to lay it up and in.
Bates cuts the lead to 11. This is Destine trying to get some space, gives it back to Taylor. Cartalis around the horn, Latunji from just inside three-point range, and that's good for 2.
Yeah, Adiola has his mid-range jumper game going here tonight. He has 10 for the Dolphins.
Greenolch to Snoddy. Snoddy gaining inside. We have a whistle. Snoddy gets called for the travel violation. So with just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half, the Dolphins will get it back via the turnover. For Bates, it's their 7th turnover of the half. CSI with 5, as you see it on your screen. Taylor gives over to Latunji. Latunji. They give over to Cartalis. Still working it now. 7 on the shot clock. Cartalis gets it back for 3. No good. It was halfway down. Latunji with the offensive board. His kiss off the glass too strong. And here comes Bates the other way. Frater looking to run. Nice move inside. Sidesteps Christian Kopech, who had checked into the game for the Dolphins. And Bates once again down by 11.
Yeah, 4 points by Frater to keep Bates close.
Destine to Kopech for 3. It's good.
Big three-pointer by Christian on his first shot of the game to open the lead back up to 14.
Yeah, there's 2:14 remaining in the half. Got some clock issues on our scoreboard. Frater. Aruajoye. Pass hits the corner to Gilpin. Gilpin for 3, no good. And Taylor gets the rebound. Under 2 minutes to play here. As you see the three-point numbers, Bates continuing to struggle from beyond the arc. Taylor up to Kopech. Now Latunji for 3. That's good.
Yeah, Adiola red hot, and he gives the Dolphins their biggest lead of the game.
Biggest lead for the Dolphins, 17 points. It was 11 just moments ago. Greenolch. Greenolch penetrates. Aruajoye for 3. No good. Long rebound, won by Taylor, and he's interfered with by Frater.
Yeah, so Frater will pick up his second personal, Dave, but the Bobcats are over the limit, so that will send Christian Taylor to the free throw line with an opportunity to continue to expand this Dolphin lead.
So Taylor will go to the line here. As you can see, the team fouls piling up for Bates. Taylor's first free throw is good. And for Taylor now, that's point number 8 of the half. Averaging over 20 per game. Second free throw is good. So Taylor 1 step closer to double digits. Gives the Dolphins continuing their biggest lead. As you see the free throw numbers piling up for the Dolphins. They're up by 19. It's their biggest lead of the game. This is Spellman, who's been held in check. Aruajoye, and interrupted by Taylor, but it skips out of bounds. 1:13 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, you know, it was a nice job by the Bobcats to close that Dolphin lead down to as low as 11, but Dolphins doing a nice job opening it up again.
There's the stuff home by Gilpin as he got just above the rim that time with just over a minute to go here in the first half. And we're going to have a foul whistled. Offensive foul on the Dolphins on the screen.
Yeah, that was not really the play the Dolphins needed there, Dave, as Kopech just got himself in as we see the dunk on the last play. But a good opportunity here for the Bobcats to try to finish off this first half strong in the final minute.
So we have Bates looking inside. It's a takeaway for Destine. Destine trying to go coast to coast, opts over to Latunji off the glass and in.
Beautiful unselfish pass that time by Rigo. 44-25 now. The Dolphins continue to open up their lead.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds to play here in the first half. Dolphins closing in on the half-century mark here. They're up by 19, matching their biggest lead. This is Spellman. Likes to go right. There he goes. This is Frater. Frater gives over to Greenolch for three. No good. Win by Spellman inside, and the foul.
Boy, and those second chance points are really the only thing, Dave, that are keeping Bates even remotely close in this game. Is a nice play that time and an opportunity for a three-point play with 11 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, and if you're Bates, you're looking for anything to kind of hang your hat on going into the locker room. They've used 4 out of their 6 timeouts in this half. So those are going to be hard to come by in the second half. Austin Mick has checked into the game for the Dolphins. Spellman completes the three-point play. Dolphins have time here. 10 seconds left to go on the game clock. Latunji with 3 seconds. This is Mick now. Steps in. No good. It goes out of bounds, and that's the end of the first half. So the Dolphins are efficient. They take a 44-27 lead at the half. So 44-27 is our score. And we will take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by TJ Tibbs, head coach of the CSI Dolphins here, as TJ will join us. So TJ, a pretty solid first half, a lot of scoring. You guys find yourselves up by 16 here at the half.
Yeah, first of all, this is a great turnout, great event that you guys certainly helped put together. And it's great to honor the 3 young men that fell on September 11th. So that's the most important thing tonight besides any game. But as far as the game, I mean, I'm very happy with the way we played. Challenged my guys, they responded. But, you know, we're not defensive rebounding well enough. They're getting a lot of second chance opportunities. We let Spellman, who's a tremendous player, probably one of the best guards in the country, see a basket go in.
The ceremony was a blast.
It
was just like the surreal
job of that in the second half.
So you have a comfortable lead here at halftime. What do you tell the troops in the locker room, get them fired up here for the final 20?
Definitely not comfortable, but it's good to have a lead against a team like that. They know that's going to fight back and has firepower. What we have to do is continue to battle on the boards. We have to continue to move the ball, because once we start hitting shots, we get a little shot selfish. I want them to continue to play with a high level of confidence, but they do have to look for their teammates. So we still have to move the ball on offense. We have to continue to do a good job on Spellman, because he's going to get hot eventually. And the shots that they miss, Lynch missed a couple 15-footers, that's going to go in. And we just need to continue to play CSI basketball.
All right, very good, Coach. We'll let you go into the locker room, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You got it.
I got to get you a shirt. That's a throwback. I got to get you a shirt. You got to tell me size after.
So CSI with an up by 16 here, 44-28 at the half. We're going to step aside, take a break. When we come back, we'll have a halftime interview.
The ceremony was a blast.
Athletic Director
it was
Jason
just like
Fine.
the surreal moment of my dreams
Once
are
again,
coming
CSI
true.
44 and Bates College 28. Stay with us.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said, "Oh, I apologize. She won't be taking you in as a client."
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
And sitting there in that small, cold room, I wanted to cry, just thinking, what did we bring this kid into?
We're simply asking to treat our family the same way that you would treat any family.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be. So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart,
want cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind wanders.
They have this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
That you had a dilemma over who to cheer for?
Welcome back here to the CSI Sports and Recreation Center, where we are being joined by Jason Fine, Athletic Director for Bates College. Jay, I know the scoreboard isn't what you'd want here at this point in time, but it must feel good to be back here at the College of Staten Island, really a part of a tournament that you helped build.
Feels great to be back. Thank you guys for having us and for having me. It's great that after all this time, the tournament's still going on, and that you guys had our team down. Was really an honor for me, and it was great to visit with some of the families. Always see the Davidson family here. It's terrific, and see you guys. But yeah, no, the score is not exactly what we want, but you know, have my son here with us, and on the way over, he wasn't sure who he was supposed to root for, you know. So we said, well, even if Bates doesn't win, at least CSI wins. So you know, it's all in the family for us tonight.
Awesome, and you know, Jay, before we talk about some of the things that you've been doing over in Maine with Bates, let's talk a little bit about what this tournament, you know, means to you specifically, because you were part of the administration that, you know, first and foremost, you were here during 9/11, so you remember what that kind of event meant for this borough and, of course, for our city, and then to see it translate into what it meant on our campus, and then later with this tournament. Tell me a little bit about, you know, what this tournament itself means to you and what it was like being a part of that during that time.
Yeah, you know, as I get older, I would say there's less and less memories that are solidly implanted in my brain. But of course, that day is a huge one, and the day that Coach Potosa came in to talk about resurrecting our former holiday tournament in the memory of our 3, you know, fallen heroes, is a day that's just planted in my brain. I remember it. I remember us talking to Jack Minogue at the Advance about, you know, bringing this thing back and then putting that effort in. And Dave, you know, so much credit to you for all the work that went in to the logistical planning day to day, on everything from team arrangements to the programs, to the stories, to the announcements that I heard today that still have those words ringing, you know, from so many years ago. It was just a great team effort, and I remember us talking about, you know, if this went well, we'd all be working a lot of holidays coming up, you know, year after year after year. And I think it was a labor of love, and I'm glad you guys have been able to do such an amazing job with it, and glad that we were able to be here. But, you know, it's something that I think every once in a while, in whatever way we need to remember. And for us, obviously around the basketball games this time of year gives us an opportunity to remember those guys and remember just everything that happened and why we're here.
And I know as the years go by, Jay, we get more and more removed of some of our players who are actually playing on our teams who remember that day, or they were infants or just toddlers at the time. Is there anything specific that you told your team at Bates about the poignancy and the significance of a day like this, especially for some of these kids who maybe aren't from the metro area?
I did, actually. Yeah, you know, we do have a couple players who are from here, and we've got a big contingent. One of our players from Brooklyn sitting over with his family. It's nice to see them here, Eli Frater. But, yeah, there are a lot of these guys, they don't have memories of it. They didn't grow up around here. They don't know what it meant. So you get used to every year playing in some kind of tournament, whether it's a tip-off tournament or a holiday tournament. And, you know, it's named after somebody or it's named after a hotel. I told them, you know, when we decided to come here that this was different. And they were going to come down. They were going to experience you know, a charged-up crowd, family members of people who had died, you know, defending our country, and just, you know, that it's a feeling that you can't really describe. And a lot of them have not been to New York. They haven't been to the 9/11 Memorial. They, you know, so aside from the fact that I wanted them to come down, have a good time, experience some Danino's pizza, and enjoy some of what, you know, Staten Island flavor has to offer. The poignancy, as you mentioned, is a point that's important. Now, I would hope that they'll put some more effort into shooting the basketball in the second half to show how appreciative they are of being down here, but we'll see what happens.
You know, Jay, you've since leaving College of Staten Island, you went to Madison, New Jersey, and helped turn around the Drew University program, and now obviously you're up at Bates College up in Maine, and you know, we're talking a little bit. What's it like to administer some of the different programs, such as football and some of the other sports that you really don't get to administer as part of the CUNYAC conference?
Yeah, it's been an adventure. You know, going over to Drew. I remember talking with you, Mike, about, you know, having sports like fencing and equestrian and things like that. And now we've got squash, and we've got a big skiing program that's super competitive and competes. You know, skiing is a different organization altogether with the EISA. So it's Division I schools and things like that. So you're competing against a lot of D1 schools, and then rowing and crew. You know, so we've got the national champions, luckily, in 3 of the last 4 years in women's rowing. So it's been a real adventure. First of all, who would think that the champions of rowing would come from Maine, where you can get on the water probably, you know, 14 days a year. But it's been a real great adventure. Football, you know, we've talked a little bit offline. It's been a great adventure. We have a new coaching staff. We've got new equipment staff, new trainers. Everything is new about our football program. So we're really building it, you know, kind of back up, sort of from scratch. We have a 117-year history of football there, but it's definitely a new feeling, and it's something that the campus really kind of rallies around in the fall for sure. That is different than a school that doesn't have football. So it's been fun.
Yep. As you're getting greetings from one of your coaches here, who says hello to Zach.
You're making me look bad here, Coach. You know.
So Jay, you know, obviously you have a lot of exciting things going on at Bates. Your basketball team is struggling a little bit this season.
Yeah.
2-7, obviously. You know, not going well here in the first half. But you know, what are some of the things that you're really looking to do at Bates? Obviously, having your teams perform well, perform better. But you know, for those of us who maybe don't know a lot about the NESCAC and about Bates, tell me a little bit about, you know, what you're charged specifically to bring to that school.
You know, what we're trying to do really at Bates is take a really long history of athletics at a school that's been around since 1855, and our founding is a story that we could take a lot of time just discussing, but I encourage everybody to go to our website and look at just the founding of Bates College and how it came about, and try to really do what we did here and what we also did when we went to Drew, is how do we give the student athletes the best possible experience. A NESCAC education at a school and you had Tufts here playing earlier, you saw how strong they are. These are schools that are in the tops in U.S. News & World Report academically. They're also tops in the Director's Cup athletically. And melding those two things together is something that the NESCAC is known for. And, you know, even when you're having a good year in the NESCAC, it's, you know, it's the Division III equivalent of playing ACC teams or SEC teams in Division I every week, week in and week out. So to try and up that competitive factor while keeping the same experience, you know, is not an easy task, and you have to balance it out because it requires the right staff, it requires the right resources, and money is just part of that. So, you know, I say often that we've got the house on the nice block, right? The NESCAC is this beautiful block, but we need to get that house to the point where it's the first one you want to look at when you come in the neighborhood to buy a house,
So, Jay, last one from me is obviously you bring a wealth of experience with you to Bates. A big chunk of that experience was at nearby Brooklyn College and then right here, College of Staten Island. What are some of your best memories of being a part of the CUNY system, maybe specifically to being here on Staten Island?
Oh, I mean, the CUNY is really it's where where I cut my teeth, and I talk with Zach Ivkovich about this all the time. I mean, I'm the first one to admit, and I still hope that I'm learning every day in my job. I know I have plenty to learn, but I mean, there was a lot of this where I remember sitting in the office with you, Dave, and going, what do you think? Like, we're figuring stuff out as it came along, and we had this great opportunity because we had students and coaches who were, for lack of a better term, just blue-collar, hard-working folks who just wanted to band together and help figure stuff out. And what I notice at other institutions I've been at that have more resources, maybe have students that come from different backgrounds, sometimes because certain other things were easier in life, you start to complicate things that don't need to be so complicated. So I try to take that experience that we had in the CUNY always and say, let's just break this down to the simplest, lowest common denominator and figure out what's the easiest way to fix this problem. And that's what I got every day, day in and day out in Brooklyn and at Staten Island. So many memories here at the Sports and Rec Center. I mean, too many to even mention, but I mean, certainly this tournament, a huge highlight of it, bringing on some of the great staff that you still have here. Just being a part of that was an honor for me. And the way that I'm always welcomed back here as a member of the family after 10 years is just a testament to the place.
Well, Jay, we want to thank you for being a part of our halftime here. We look forward to spending a little bit more time with you at the reception after today's game. It's been, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, guys. Good luck second half. And thanks, Zach, for being here with us.
Excellent. As you get a final look at some halftime stats before we get ready for the second half of play. As you take a look, the Dolphins dominating just about in every statistical category, Mike, here. 47% from the field. They shot really well from three-point range. Their free throw shooting has been where you want it to be. And, of course, they were able to be a +2 in the turnover column. So great job by the Dolphins through the first 20 minutes. But these next 20 are critical, Mike. It's a chance for the Dolphins to put one away and to get their first victory at home.
Yeah, Bates just shooting 31% from the field and just 1 of 10 from the three-point line. Dolphins doing much better from the field in the first half, including 5 of 12 from the three-point line, which is 42%.
Shamal Martin gets a touch, gives it over to Stephen Flagg. Martin gets the offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound for the Dolphins. Another one, perhaps, a jump ball. That time it will go to Bates. So Dolphins get themselves 3 or 4 possessions out of that last turn. Unable to finish.
Yeah, Dolphins are just looking for more of the same in the second half, Dave, that they got in the first. Nice job rebounding the basketball offensively. Just couldn't convert on their first possession.
So it's Lynch now controlling. Gives up top to Snoddy. Give over to Spellman. Lynch around the horn. Greenolch. Snoddy. Turnaround jumper off baseline. That's good. And so lead cut to 14 here in the opening stages.
Bobcats making a conscious decision to pound the ball in. Let's see if they do that throughout the second half.
Taylor gives inside to Martin. Martin trying to get some space. May have shuffled his feet. Did. Gets called for the travel. So the Dolphins with a few missed baskets and now a turnover here to start the second half.
Yeah, that's the kind of start that the Bobcats were looking for. Let's see if they can convert offensively in their second possession.
Gilpin, Greenolch, and Lynch. Lynch looking to take advantage of Martin. Give inside, Snoddy to Lynch, and that's blocked down by Latunji. It will remain Bates basketball. Good job by Latunji to make up ground there after Lynch had escaped him. Greenolch will inbound to Spellman. Spellman, jumper, short in the lane, no good. Flagg with the rebound. Flagg holds up, gives over to Latunji, who drops off to Taylor. Taylor lost control momentarily, gave it back up top. Spinning in the lane was Latunji. He opts out, and getting tripped up on the play was Rigo Destine. And looks like we're going to have a foul on Spellman as you get a second look at that blocked shot by Adeola Latunji. Nice job by Addy.
Yeah, I think that time Lynch thought he had a clear path to the basket, and Latunji made a nice job blocking the basketball as the Dolphins inbound.
Dolphins reset up top. This will be Latunji. Give into Taylor. Taylor with the floater in the lane. That's good. And CSI with their first basket of the second half.
Christian now 4 of 7 from the field. He has 11.
Spellman gives over to Snoddy. Up top. Greenolch for 3. Long range, no good. Bates continuing to struggle from three-point range. They're now 1 of 11. Flag. The give and losing control was Desteem. Now a touchdown pass the other way, trying to catch up. And doing so was flagged, but he fouled Gilpin on the play. Gilpin, the 6'3 junior from Hamden, Maine. Will have a chance here to draw closer. Both teams with a bucket here in the second half.
Number 23, Nick Gilpin to the line for the Bobcats, shooting 2.
17:51 remaining. That one's off the back iron, no good. We've had some problems with our scoreboard throughout the evening. We're missing a digit on our game clock. That is not in our control, essentially, as we get our live feed from the scorer's table, but we'll do our best to keep you posted. In any case, we have just under 18 minutes to go here in this one. Desteem over to Taylor. Taylor left open for 3. It's good.
Yeah, Christian starting to heat up offensively, Dave, as he's got 5 in the second half, 14 for the game.
Yeah, he's been CSI's most steady player. He's now 5 of 8 from the floor. Gilpin. His team down by 18. To give over to Lynch. Lynch over to Gilpin. Steps inside. 2-pointer. No good. Long rebound won by Snoddy. Snoddy gains the paint off the glass. No good. And Latunji gets the rebound. Nice job by Latunji. He's able to look up. And his pass is picked off by Greenolch. Greenolch. Drop back pass over to Snoddy. Fouled by Flag. And the basket will count.
Yeah, big turnover that time by the Dolphins as they had the opportunity to open the lead up to 20. Instead, a nice play by Bates to make the extra pass, get the ball inside as Flag picks up his second foul here in the second half. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout on the floor, Dave.
Yeah, and TJ Tibbs wants to talk it over here a little bit. The Dolphins will take a 30-second timeout. They've got 4 left. And as you can see, TJ Tibbs near half court almost, looking to fire up his team here. They've seen their lead cut down to 16 here in the opening stages of the second half. You can see the book on Adeola Latunji, 15 points tonight, 6 of 9 from the field. Also has had a blocked shot.
Yeah, and I think TJ a little frustrated because although the Dolphins have a 6-point lead, they really had an opportunity to open this game up beyond 20. And, Bates doing a good job hanging around. And, the shots eventually are going to start to fall, Dave. Teams usually revert to their percentages. So Dolphins need to take advantage and treasure the basketball a little bit more on their offensive possessions.
So Snoddy with 6 points makes it number 7, cuts the CSI lead down to 15, 49-34, as we've got just under 17 minutes to go here in regulation time. Flag controls. He steps back for 3, no good. Long rebound, gets it himself off the glass, no good. Another rebound is long, and we're going to have a foul whistled against number 33, Andrew Snoddy. And that will be his first personal.
And in the second half, Dave, the Dolphins have had a lot of opportunities on the inside and struggling a little bit with their conversion, but they will get to inbound the ball once again.
Both teams with a couple of team fouls here in the early stages. Latunji gives over to Taylor. Taylor now, short range jumper, no good. It's won by Galloway on the boards. And CSI a little chilly here to start off the second half from the field. We got 16 and a half to go. Lynch. Galloway back over to Lynch. Lynch, long range 2 is good. TJ Tibbs mentioned during the halftime break, got to pay attention to Lynch. Bates cuts the lead to 13. Martin now on the baseline, trying to cut in on Lynch. Offensive foul as Lynch let his body give. As you can see, the field goal percentages starting to fall for CSI and pick up for Bates.
Yeah, Bates in the middle of a 5-0 run, Dave, and they have the basketball, and you know they're a possession away from getting themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, so the Dolphins now guilty of another turnover. They now have 10, make that 11, so they're a -3 in the turnover category. I believe they were a +2 at halftime. Coyne, give inside to Lynch. Lynch over Delahanty, no good. Taylor gets the rebound. Rigo Destime. Destime trying to cut in on Coyne, and Coyne's guilty of interfering with Destime's jump.
Yeah, and they're going to call that a shooting foul, and you know I thought the foul was really a little bit before the shot, Dave, as I thought Coyne kind of fouled him, and then Rigo went up for the jumper, but if Rigo will go to the free throw line, and an opportunity here for the Dolphins to choke off that 5-0 run by the Bobcats.
Destime with 2 points, 2 rebounds in tonight's game. This is his first trip to the line. He nets the first. Cuts that Bates run at 5 points. Dolphins back up by 14 here as they've reached the half-century mark. Second free throw is good by Destime. So Dolphins back up by 15. Around the horn here, Hummel interfered with at first. Now the ball goes errant to Stephen Flagg. Flagg gives off to Christian Taylor, and the fast break layup is good.
Nice pass by Flagg that time as Stephen picks up his second assist, and the lead is 17.
Coyne drops one in for Lynch. Lynch no good. Expected contact. Taylor now hop skips, gives over to Destime. Back over to Taylor, 20 on the shot clock. Flagg. Back up top to Taylor, around the horn, Destime. Destime pulls up for three, it's good.
What a huge three-pointer by Rigo. Dolphins their biggest lead of the night.
Yep, 56-36. Dolphins on a 7-0 run. Coyne with the three, no good. Hummel, rebound. Gilpin for three, that's good. Good response there by Gilpin, and Bates will use one of their final 2 timeouts. It's a full timeout, so we will step aside and take a break. Dolphins are up by 17, 56-39, here with 14:38 to go in regulation. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. Story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Chance points, yeah.
Story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and
CSI
sounds.
Sports and Recreation Center. The Dolphins
So he
are
built
up by a
secret
bunch.
hiding
Bates
places.
has taken the first of their final 2 timeouts.
You know, David, we look at Bates here in the second half, and they've really used their second chance points to stay in the game. They've outscored the Dolphins on second chance points 10-7, but their last couple of baskets have come off of second chance opportunities, and I'm sure that's something that head coach TJ Tibbs is discussing with the team.
Yeah, and Dolphins, there was a little conference there at the scorer's desk because the CSI staff had counted that as a 2-point basket. We have it as a 3-point basket. And we'll see what they decide to do here.
Well, it's a 2 right now, Dave.
Right.
Up, now it's a 3.
Now they've added that point, yeah, because the live stats that we get our feed from had counted it as a 3. Scoreboard had it as a 2, but now they get it right. We apologize for the technical difficulties with our scoreboard as our time is a little bit deficient there, missing the numbers column. Rigo Desteam with a mid-range two, that's good. And the Dolphins now continue their hot shooting. 58-39 up by 19. This is Coyne to Lynch. Lynch with a long range two, that's good. So Lynch starting to find his hot hand.
Yeah, he's now up to 8 points, Dave, for Bates.
Just under 14 minutes to go in regulation. Desteam pulls up, short jumper in the lane, that's good.
Yeah, Rigo's starting to feel it, Dave. 7 points here in the second half for Rigo.
Rigo trying to earn more minutes on the floor for the Dolphins. Frater controls for the Bobcats. Gives over to Coyne. Coyne will spot up for three, no good. Latunji gets the rebound. Latunji starting to amass some rebounds now as Christian Taylor controls. Taylor drops off to Desteam. Desteam almost lost the handle, gets it back, drives inside, and he gets locked up with Lynch and will go to the line.
Boy, he's really feeling it, Dave, and that time he exploded to the basket and was able to draw the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line now to shoot two. Bates already, Dave, with 10 personals here in less than 7 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, unbelievable. You look at the free throw shooting, it's relatively even, but the Dolphins are going to take 2 shots every time they go to the line from here on out, and Desteam's a good free throw shooter. He's 3 for 3 on the day, and for the season, Rigo was just under 70% coming into the game. He might be over that now. Rigo 19 of 26 from the free throw line. They'll have one more. Dolphins have matched their biggest lead, 20 points, 61-41. We have 13-17 to go. Second free throw is good. Desteam 4 for 4 from the line tonight. And Coyne will dribble here for Bates.
As that foul will be on Delahanty before the shot. So James is going to pick up his 3rd personal foul. So Bates will inbound the basketball with 13:03 remaining here in the second half.
Once again, they have the scoreboard wrong here. This could be 62-41. CSI looking to get a substitution in. Christian Kopech come in for Delahanty. Bates will inbound. This is Frater. Frater inside, off the glass and in. That's good. And for now, it's 62-43. Dolphins back up by 19 with possession. Taylor, crossover dribble, and that's in for 2. That was a gorgeous one.
Yeah, Taylor starting to heat up. Desteam heating up. Latunji playing well. And the Dolphins lead by 21.
He got snotty crossed on that one. This is Galloway for 3. No good. Taylor with the rebound. Here comes Latunji the other way. He gets interfered with and is fouled.
Yeah, the Dolphins continue to break. They saw the fast break opportunity. They took it. And now Latunji will go back to the free throw line. And you mentioned, Dave, Bates in the double bonus as you have an opportunity to see the beautiful replay on that crossover dribble by Christian Taylor in that jump shot. Boy, Taylor's got a lot of moves offensively, Dave.
Yeah, at some point, Nick, I'm going to want to see that one again. I kind of missed the first half of that sequence, but Latunji makes the first of 2 free throws. Dolphins continuing to expand their lead. Here's the play once again developing. Look at this move by Christian Taylor. Oof. It's what you like to see, Mike, if you're a CSI Dolphins fan. Gorgeous look.
Sure is. He faked out Snotty, and Galloway couldn't get over quick enough on Taylor.
So Dolphins' biggest lead, stuck on 21, 64-43. Snotty inside. He gets the layup and the foul.
And, you know, Bates keep coming at the Dolphins, Dave, as the Dolphins open the lead to 21. Bates trying to work their way right back in the game and Snoddy now with an opportunity to complete the three-point play.
So now we have Snoddy try and complete the three-point play. His free throw's up and good. He's a good free throw shooter, and Bates is down by 18. If they're going to make a run, now's about the time to kind of get this lead down to single digits. They're going to need a good run here as Nick Taylor controls. Taylor's pass is picked off. Eli Frater now, ball still loose. Dolphins get on the floor, but it's Frater who comes with it, and he's interfered with by Adeola Latunji. Good effort by all parties on that play.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of a helter-skelter play, and the Dolphins end up committing the personal foul. And, you know, again, Bates refusing to go quietly, trying to work their way back into the game.
Look at the turnover numbers here. Dolphins with 12 turnovers to Bates' 9, so they're a -3 in that column. Bates with 23 on the shot clock. Coyne with control. Coyne still with it. Goes cross court to Frater. Frater spinning, and now his pass is picked off by Christian Taylor. Taylor working 1 against 2. Drops off to his brother in the lane, and it's good.
Beautiful pass that time by Taylor to Taylor. Dolphin lead back to 20.
Nicholas Taylor, the younger brother of Christian Taylor. They both went to the same high school, Susan E. Wagner, my alma mater. Coyne drops over to Galloway. Galloway around the horn to Frater. Frater gets locked up inside, drops off to Snoddy, and Snoddy now picking up his game, goes over Cartalis for the 2. Take another look at that replay here, the Taylor-to-Taylor connection down the court. Meanwhile, Nick Taylor giving over to Latunji, and now Christian Taylor gets back with it. 15 on the shot clock, and we're going to have an offensive foul on Christian Kopech. That was an easy one as Kopech was moving on the screen. Kopech has had his minutes slashed, Mike. He was a normal starter, but he hasn't played much at all in recent games. Trying to work his way back into the rotation. 66-48 is our score. 10:47 to go. Gilpin over to Spellman, over to Galloway for 3, no good. And Latunji gets the rebound. And there's a takeaway and a stuff home by Gilpin.
A big swing there for Bates, and they've cut the Dolphin lead down to 16. Little 4-0 run for the Bobcats.
And that was Snoddy. My apologies on that last stuff. Latunji now with it. Top of the arc. Cuts inside. Mid-range jumper. That finds the rim. And in on the second chance, so 68-50. There was the takeaway and the stuff home by Snoddy. And so we have a full timeout. We will step aside, take a break here. The Dolphins lead by 18, 68-50, 10-13 remaining in the second half. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how...
Welcome back here to the tank at the campus of the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins up by 18 with 10:13 remaining. We're working on trying to get our scoreboard back in working order. We're missing some digits there. Not sure what to make of that technical difficulty, but we'll continue to work on it, see what happens.
And Dave, for Bates, it's been Andrew Snoddy here in the second half. He has 12 of the 22 Bates points. Make that 14 of the 24, and he'll go to the free throw line. He's keeping Bates single-handedly in the game, Dave.
Yeah, he's a 6'6" freshman from Massachusetts, and they are certainly high on what he can do and the future that he can bring to this team as we are under 10 minutes to play. And again, we said it before, if Bates wants to make a move, now is about the time here to try and cut this CSI lead down. Snotty certainly carrying his load. They are down by 15, but Bates now needs some stops. Here comes Nick Taylor from the right sideline, gives it back up to Christian Taylor. Dolphins work it around the horn. Jamal Martin. Martin cuts into the lane, and he gets fouled going up. That'll be against Snotty. I believe that'll be his second. It will. And Jamal Martin will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a tough foul call, Dave, when you're trying to work your way back in the game. A little bit of frustration on the Bobcat bench on that call, but Jamal Martin will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
So Martin with a quiet evening, just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. It's his first trip to the line. He is 0 for 1, 67% for the season. Does have 3 fouls. So he's been limited with some foul trouble. Will take his time here with free throw number 2. Puts it up and in. So the Dolphins are up by 16. Here comes Bates down their end of the floor. Spellman, who's been very quiet here tonight. He drives into the lane, gets contact. Dolphins want to travel, so does Mike Babuski. He won't get it. Cartalis with the foul.
So Andrew will pick up his second. The Dolphins now with 9 fouls. Scoreboard has the fouls now 9-6.
Spellman, very good free throw shooter. First is good. 77% this season. 69-54 is our score. 9:31 left in regulation. Second free throw is good. So Bates now cuts the lead down to 14. Dolphins have led by as many as 21 in this half. See the free throws on your screen. Cartalis was looking inside, gives instead to Latunji. Latunji, baseline 2, that's good.
That's a tough baseline jumper by Latunji with Bates working himself back into the game.
Yeah, Frater all over him. He's still able to get that one to go. 16, there's an inside give, a give and go. Or an alley-oop attempt almost. Gilpin to Snotty. Snotty went down hard, gets up under his own power. Looks like Latunji will get called for the foul. That's his third. Latunji with a 19-point evening. But meanwhile, Snotty with a chance to can points 18 and 19 here. First free throw is good, nothing but net. Lynch comes back in for Bates. Flagg and Desteem back in for the Dolphins, replacing Taylor and Cartalis.
Snotty already with 16 points here in the second half, Dave, going for point number 17.
Yeah, and Snotty with just about, well, exactly a third of the team's points. Now more than that, as he's got 19. See the line on Latunji, who picked up that foul. He's the team leader with 19 points. This is Flagg. Flagg inside, off the glass and in. That time the senior spotting up against Snotty, the freshman. Flagg got the better of that war. Dolphins back up by 16. This is Lynch for 2. It's good. So Lynch, who was very quiet in the first half, has heated up here in the second. Bates gave those points to the wrong team on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Dolphins very fortunate on that possession, Dave. They nearly turned the ball over twice. They were able to get it into Latunji. He couldn't hit the shot, but he drew the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2, as that foul will be called on Nick Gilpin.
So Gilpin with the foul called on him. Latunji with a chance here. Score on your screen is wrong. Now they're starting to correct it here. 74-59. And one more makes it 75-59.
scoreboard now, correct.
Yeah, now it is. And there's a takeaway. Here comes Desteem now to Flag. Back to Desteem. Nick Taylor for three.
Beautiful inside-out passing by the Dolphins. They fed it in, then outside to Taylor. All of a sudden, the Dolphin lead back up to 19.
This is Gilpin to Lynch. Lynch gets the friendly roll off the rim. That one's good. So leads now 17.
Lynch now has 12 points, 8 in the second half.
Jamal Martin driving inside. He is going to get called for the travel. Take another look at that last drive and that last three-pointer for Nick Taylor over the outstretched arms of the defense. See a look at the turnovers there. The Dolphins with another one that time. Dolphins up by 17. We have 7:25 remaining. Lynch. Long range two, no good. That's his first miss in a while. Spellman back to Lynch. Lynch over to Gilpin. Left open for three was Snoddy. Decides to go in instead. Nice reverse layup for Snoddy. He's up over 20 points. He's got 21. Taylor to Latunji. Dolphins nursing in a 15-point lead. Cross court, Latunji left wide open for three, no good. Lynch with the rebound. Here comes a good chance for Bates. Under 7 to play. 3-point attempt, no good. 3-point shooting continuing to hamper Bates tonight. They are 2 of 17 from 3-point range.
Yeah, if they could have hit just a couple of those, Dave, they could be right back in the game, but instead it's going to be a foul called on Lynch as he picks up his 4th. And that's going to send Latunji to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1 for the Dolphins.
You see the 3-point numbers on your screen. The Dolphins have been very efficient from downtown. Bates, not so much. And like we mentioned very early, the Bates Bobcats had 10 fouls with about 13 minutes left in this second half. So every time CSI goes to the line, they will shoot 2. Latunji has been shooting his free throws much better of late. First is no good. That should be a 2-shot foul.
No, I guess it's 1-and-1, Dave. It was down on the back
court.
court.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's 8. No, it's still. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. CSI is over the limit. Bates with only 8. And now Galloway with the miss, rebounded by Christian Taylor.
A couple of wide open misses by Galloway here in the second half.
Yep, Bates needs them a lot more than the Dolphins do right now. 6:10 to go, or 6:15 to go. That ball pinballing around. That's going to be Bates' basketball. So another loose ball and another failed possession for the Dolphins, who now have 16 turnovers to Bates' 11.
Big couple of possessions here for Bates, Dave, still down 15.
Yeah, no question about it. As we approach the 6-minute mark here, this is Galloway. Another turn for a 3, no good. Long rebound won by Martin. Bates now 2 of 18 from downtown. Flag barking out signals. Gives down low to Martin. Martin steps up, and there's a short hook jumper and puts the Dolphins back up by a bunch.
Yeah, Jamal now has 5. Nice one-handed shot in the lane. 80-63.
5.5 minutes to go now. Dolphins up by 17. Spellman spots up for 3, and that's good.
Yeah, and Bates is going to need more of that, but that shot's certainly keeping him in the game.
Broke a long stretch of missed 3-pointers. Now Latunji with a baseline jumper halfway in and out. Now Jamal Martin, second chance, no good, a little too strong off the back iron. Gilpin. Now to Hummel. Hummel for 3, no good. And Christian Taylor gets the rebound. He wants to slow things down.
That was a huge miss, Dave. That could have made it 11.
Yeah. Once again, the 3-point numbers flash on your screen. Bates has taken 23-point attempts. Almost a third of their shots have been from 3-point range. This is flagged for 3. That's good! Talk about a huge swing, Mike. That was one right there. Dolphins call the timeout. They want it to be a full. So we're going to step aside and take a break. The Dolphins are up by 17 points here with 4:43 to go in the second half. Stay with us.
Mom.
Dear.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Mom.
Welcome back here to the tank where you get a second look at that Stephen Flagg three-pointer that made this a 17-point game. That's a big swing, Mike, because of the missed three-pointer, the one-way, wide open, missed by Hummel. Stephen Flagg goes down the other way. That's a 6-point swing.
Yeah, huge 6-point swing, Dave. And if Bates was able to hit that three-pointer, that would have made it an 11-point game, and they would have had all the momentum. Instead, the three-pointer was missed. Flagg comes back and hits the three, and all of a sudden the Dolphin lead is up to 17. We should mention, for those of you that might have joined us late, that Tufts won the opening game in this 17th annual Tournament of Heroes Championship, beating Gwynn Mercy by a final score of 92-78. They'll be in the championship game tomorrow. Dolphins 4 minutes and 40 seconds away from joining them.
Yeah, in case you joined us late, we've been having some problems with our game clock on your screen, but we have 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go. It's getting late here for Bates, very late here, as they find themselves down by 17. Destine to Taylor. Dolphins can stand to take their time here. They'll get things started with 10 on the shot clock. This is Christian Taylor receiving a screen from Martin. It's going to be on Bates. It's going to be on Galloway.
Boy, Dave, that's tough to let 25 seconds run off the shot clock and then commit the foul. Best of all worlds, if you're a CSI Dolphin fan, Jamal Martin will go to the free throw line. Big 1-and-1 coming up here for the Dolphins. They've missed a couple of free throws here in the second half.
Martin 1 of 2 from the line tonight. And that's good. So he'll get a second chance here. Dolphins up by 18. They've led by as many as 21 in the game. Bates was able to get it down, I believe, to 13 at one point.
Dolphins now 13 of 19 from the free throw line.
Second of 2 for Martin is good. And Dolphins up by 19. A healthy margin here with 4 minutes to go in regulation time.
Yeah, Bates running out of any margin for error here, Dave.
Tom Coyne gives over to Galloway. Galloway to Gilpin. Gilpin steps inside to Galloway. A foul before the shot. Be on Latunji. That'll be Latunji's fourth.
Yeah, and that was, I thought, a tough foul call, Dave, late in the game. That's going to send Bates to the line for 2 free throws. And if you're the Bobcats, that's exactly what you need, Dave, the opportunity to score points without the clock moving.
Very limited free throw shooting for Galloway this season. He's 56%. Misses the first. Galloway only averaging 4.5 points per game.
Yeah, Brandon's had a couple of opportunities and has been able to get his shots to go down here in the second half.
Second free throw is no good. So Bates misses an opportunity for free points with the clock stop. And now it'll be Christian Taylor. Dolphins essentially might not have to take a shot for the rest of the game. And Bates is going to need some buckets the other way, down by 19. In any event, the Dolphins will use as much shot clock as they can. Latunji with 10. Gains the side of the baseline, no good. And it's won by Gilpin on the rebound. Gilpin, top of the arc, stops at the free throw line. Free throw jumper is good. And that cuts the lead to 17. And now Bates looking to press. Now they back off as Taylor will cross the timeline with about 3 minutes to go here. Gilpin on Taylor, 23 versus 23. Now Flagg gets it. He has Tom Coyne on him. Flagg moving left to right, hands off to Taylor. Taylor looking to drive with 5 on the shot clock. puts one up, no good. A foul, I believe, before the shot anyway. Either way, Taylor will go shoot 2 at the free throw line as another foul with the shot clock winding way down here.
Yeah, that's the second time, Dave, in the last couple of minutes as you see the free throw shooting up on your screen that Bates has allowed the Dolphins to control the ball for 25 seconds of the shot clock or more before committing the foul. And if you're going to commit the foul, you might as well do it at the top of the shot clock.
Yeah, absolutely. As CSI comfortably ahead here, 18-point lead. And Austin Mick will come into the game for the Dolphins to replace Stephen Flagg. Mick has also seen a tremendous drop to his minutes here as Nicholas Taylor has earned a lot more time. Taylor makes both. Dolphins up by 19. Nick Taylor in, Chris Taylor out.
So it looks like Gwynedd Mercy is going to play Bates tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Pre-game at 12:45, and the Dolphins will advance to the championship game.
Tom Coyne with a floating jumper in the lane. That's good. Cuts the lead again to 17 points, but the Dolphins will take their time here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in regulation. Latunji spots up near the free throw line. That's good. The Dolphins approaching 90 points here as they are up by 19.
Latunji with a couple of big baskets here in the second half. Dolphins now with 89 points and another foul out on the floor with 2:07 remaining in the game.
2 good matchups tomorrow, and for Bates, they avoid, I know they didn't want to avoid the game against Tufts, but they avoid having to play a conference team tomorrow in Tufts. Bates and Tufts play once a year anyway, so instead it'll be Bates versus Gwynedd Mercy, and the Dolphins will face Tufts. As you look at the team's field goal percentages, that's CSI would love to boast that field goal percentage for the season. And for Bates, they need to really work on moving that needle up.
You know, we saw Tufts obviously in the first game of the doubleheader, Dave, and they look like a very balanced, very tough team that's well tested and well seasoned. They played a tough conference, and it should be an exciting championship game tomorrow as the Dolphins look to win the tournament, I believe, for only the 3rd time in their history.
Dolphins won the tournament twice, in 2013 and 2015. Other than that, they have an overall record of 14-18 in this tournament. Brian Gomez has entered the game for the Dolphins. He wears number 30.
And I think Gomez stepped out of bounds, Dave, and didn't reestablish position, so the Dolphins will turn the ball over.
Yeah, Gomez, a very raw talent for the Dolphins, hoping to integrate him a little bit more and more. Frater with the jumper, no good. Long rebound, won by Mick. Austin Mick is a sophomore transfer. Latunji over to Taylor. Back up top for Mick. Mick gaining the lane. He gets the ball swatted down.
And you know, Dave, it's been an interesting season for the Dolphins. They started out the year 0-4 and will now up their record to 5-6. So they've played obviously much better as of late as Mick hits that three-pointer, and Dolphins getting themselves in a good position for their defense of their CUNYAC championship.
Well, Mick makes it a 20-point game. Frater over to Galloway inside. He was fouled by the Dolphins. I believe that's going to be called on Abdul Rasak Ishola. Abdul Rasak is making very limited appearances for the Dolphins so far, but he too is a young, raw, developing freshman, 6'4", true freshman for the Dolphins.
Big opportunity for a minute or so at the end of the game, Dave, for a couple of these players.
Yeah, especially in a win. You want to make sure you finish the game strong if you're any one of these reserve players. So we have a travel violation call.
So Kopech gets called for the travel, and with a minute 3 seconds remaining, the only thing to be determined is the final score, as the Dolphins will extend their winning streak to 3 and their overall record to 5-6.
There's a big three-pointer, something that they've struggled with all night long. Cuts the lead to 15. Dolphins comfortably ahead. Gomez gets that one. Kopech and now Taylor. And this is Mick for 3. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, and that's the kind of shooting, Dave, the Dolphins are hoping from Austin in the second half of the season.
Yeah, was a player who was getting significant minutes. Dolphins know they can count on him for the big outside shot. Getting a little bit warm here. Frater back down a coin from way downtown. He nets the 3. And the lead is back down to 15 for the Dolphins as both teams really improving on the three-pointers. Get ready to be joined by someone on the Dolphins after this game. A big win. Nick Taylor will hold things up. And that will be the final. The CSI Dolphins, winners of 5 out of their last 7, will run their record up to 5-6 this season. And they've punched their ticket to the championship game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. They will face Tufts University. Gwynedd Mercy will take on Bates tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m.
And a big offensive explosion for the Dolphins here tonight as they're able to score 95 points against a tough non-conference opponent in Bates College. So a good start to the CUNYAC tournament. Last year, Dave, a little disappointing. Dolphins lost both games, but they'll have an opportunity to advance into the championship round here as they look to win the tournament, Dave, for only the 3rd time in their history.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. They got off to a good start, 7-0 run. They were up, I believe, 15-4 at some point. And they're well on their way in this one here. They had a little bit of a scare, and they come out and play really well.
So it looks like CT Christian Taylor going to come over to join us, Dave.
All right. We're going to be joined by Christian Taylor in just a moment, Mike. We granted the CUNY an interview first. So our next broadcast, Mike, will be tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Gwynedd Mercy will take on Bates College. That'll be at 1. We'll be on the air about 12:45 or so with a pregame show. And then, of course, we'll have the championship game at 3 o'clock. CSI will take on Tufts. So a really good, two really good matchups tomorrow afternoon. And now, without further ado, we have Christian Taylor. Chris, you guys got off to a real great start in this game against Bates, and you were able to shut the door in the second half. Good 40 minutes, good solid 40 minutes by your club today.
Thank you. Throughout practice this week and last week, we really focused on involving everyone and not just sticking the ball around and get early help from every teammate we had. And I thought we did a great job on that tonight. And, this is now 5 wins in the last 7 games, I believe. You guys are getting close to that 500 mark. You feel the team is finally starting to find its groove now? Yeah, definitely. Throughout the first couple tournaments, we played a couple of tough teams. Throughout the first half in both games in the tournament, I thought we did a really good job, but then it slipped away. But we're a young group, and we're starting to come together now. And Chris, I noticed during pregame, during the ceremony, the team went over to the 3 jerseys. You guys had a bit of a talk. What were some of the things that were discussed, and what does the poignancy of this tournament mean to you personally? Well, this tournament is very special. It's going to go on when I graduate and whenever the freshmen graduate. It's a really special thing for all the families that come, and it was a tough day a couple of years ago, and we really want to stay with it and keep the tournament going. Excellent.
Christian, as Dave mentioned, the team has now won 5 out of 7. You have a big, tough game against Tufts University tomorrow afternoon as you try to win the Tournament of Heroes for the 3rd time. But then starting on Monday or next week, on Thursday, I should say, you really get started with defending your CUNYAC title. What is the team looking forward to in the second half? Well, we're just going to take it one game by a time. Obviously, we're going to goal is to win the championship. But it's to get better every day and grow as an individually and as a collectively group, and that's the main focus, I think. All right, so Chris, last one. Tomorrow afternoon you have Tufts University, really tough team, another team from the same conference as Bates, the NESCAC, which is considered one of the best conferences in the country. Tell me a little bit about what you saw from them in Game 1, and what do you guys need to do tomorrow to come out on top? Well, we were watching from the beginning, and they're a very good team, very good players. They like to move the ball a lot. And we guys got to be focused and play tough and come out strong. All right. Congratulations on a great win tonight, Chris, and good luck tomorrow. Thank you. You got it.
Christian Taylor here, junior guard for the CSI Dolphins. He's been making so many great things happen for this team since he really came into focus a year ago. And you know what, Mike? This was a solid win from start to finish for the Dolphins. Certainly one to grow on, and certainly makes you really optimistic about tomorrow's afternoon's chances.
And, you know, the Dolphins obviously counting on Christian Taylor, and Christian coming up huge today. 7 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds as well, Dave, to go along with 6 assists and 2 steals. So a great game for Christian Taylor, a great game for the Dolphins coming off that 17-day layoff. They've now won 3 in a row, in position to play a very tough university team tomorrow afternoon, and really putting themselves in good position to open up and play in the CUNYAC season beginning this Thursday.
So you see the final score on your screen, the CSI Dolphins 95 and the Bates College Bobcats 80. CSI Dolphins will face off against Tufts tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. in the championship game of the 17th annual Tournament of Heroes. It will be Bates taking on Gwynedd Mercy University at 1 o'clock. We will have both games for you tomorrow afternoon. We start our broadcast at 12:45 p.m. and we'll have tip-off at 1 o'clock. It'll be Joe Foreman and Mike Babuski joining you tomorrow for all of the action, so we hope that you'll join us. We'll be covering both games as we did tonight. So for everyone here at the College of Staten Island, of course, our memories are with all of those who we lost on 9/11, especially our own Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, and Tom Hannafin. For a whole crew here at the College of Staten Island, for our camera operator, Anita Lorenzo, for our engineer tonight, Nicholas Durst, for Mike Babuski, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a very good night. We hope you'll join us tomorrow afternoon. Once again, your final score here, the Dolphins 95 and Bates College 80.